What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Boosted Ride YouTube channel. Today's episode, back on the LS swapped F100. Let's get to it. Alright, so today's episode, we need to get the shocks in the back of the LS swapped F100 here. And I think we're going to do things a little bit different than what we had described before. Jason did buy in some brand new, they're probably in the back of the truck, which is up here in the hoist, brand new strange single adjustable 10-inch shocks. And on the death trap over there, I have some 12-inch double adjustable. Not that that matters, double or single. What I'm thinking is to maybe help the ride of the death trap not be such the raked look to it, I want to take the 12-inch shocks off of there, see if we can keep this truck at a level height with the 12-inch shocks, and then obviously if you're catching my drift, I can take the 10-inch shocks, lower mine in the back. Obviously the rear end's way off because of the panhard bar and just drooping there. So we'll get our ride height set on here. Well, I want to try and put these in the middle so it gives us adjustability up and down, and then we'll go rip the shocks off of death trap over there and then put them over here, see what we can do. I got some offset. I've got brackets that'll offset it from the same brackets as death trap, and I've got them 1-inch offset up and 2 inches offset up. So in case I can make those work, we'll just see how close they get to the bed.
It doesn't let you. If you're already a cop, then it doesn't let you be a wobble.
Oh, just exit the game and go back in. And also, been doing some updating. So I haven't posted in a while. Posted a whole crap ton of videos there for a period of time, and then I haven't posted for probably over a week. And I've just been busy, kids been sick, and just other stuff going on with year end and stuff like that. I actually got my Christmas at my parents' house this weekend. Today is Friday, so I'm gonna try and knock a lot of this out today, and then Sunday we'll get this video up. But I also been working out in the shop. I got a lot of things along the wall situated. Obviously went ahead, cleaned the entire floor, some of the stuff up in the corner here, got all that stuff organized. Working on cleaning off like tool benches and stuff like that, toolboxes I should say. And then some of the stuff that's over along this wall, which there was a saw, torch cart and stuff, as you just seen, we're rearranging over here. So I've moved the Norsolve cleaning tank over there, put the press over there, the H press, moved the saw, chop saw. TV's just sitting here because Nate wanted to come out in the shop with Dad and play on his Xbox today. And then over here, I've got the local lumberyard is going to drop off some lumber. We're going to make a bench there, an 8-footer. We'll probably keep this shelf for now. A lot of the stuff might get taken off, and I'm going to put a lower shelf on the bench as well, or 2 shelves possibly. And then that way this will be like our new fabrication area. I'd like to maybe make a weld table to sit in the center here that maybe has holes for, you know, pinning stuff down, clamping it, or whatever the case is. And I guess the other main reason I haven't been posting is because right there, I pulled the transmission out of my daughter's car, and it just gave me all kinds of problems. I'm not a huge person to want to pull transmissions out of newer cars, but it fought me tooth and nail the whole way. But I got that done. That took an extra couple days more than expected, so that kind of held me up on the F100 content as well. But enough rambling on. Let's rip some shocks off, get them over here. Let's get this baby on some shocks so we can let it down and see how this thing's going to sit. And then, motor time. And that's what I've been waiting for, because we got a lot of things in store for this motor that we haven't talked about at all. So let's get to it. I went ahead and went underneath the death trap just now. Looks like there was a fire or something underneath there. I'm not sure what happened, but man, everything's just charred underneath there. It's weird. I did clean up the shocks. Got a bucket of some soapy water and some degreaser there. They're not the greatest. They still have a little bit of gunk stuck on the springs on the inside, but it'll work for now. I also went ahead and got the rear end set at where we had the ride height before. Used the transmission jack there. So everything is set now. What I need to do is get a 1.5-inch tube cut, which I have laying on the other side of the shop. I'll grab a piece of that, get that cut so it can fit inside the frame rails. And then over here are a few of the tabs that I have. Again, like I mentioned a little bit ago, these are the same tabs that were on the death trap, and then I had the same tabs with from this distance to where the hole was moved up 1 inch, and then these ones here had the hole moved up 2 inches from where the original hole was. So I guess hard to explain, but if that was on there, that's 2 inches up. Yes, the hole is out further, you wouldn't be mistaken, and that's because these ones, the body of the shock almost hits this radius here. So I just went ahead, extended it out, went ahead and wrapped these ones all the way around the tube, so it can be welded 360 degrees around, hoping that would give it a little extra beef. So it's gonna be one of these two. It's either gonna be the inch or the 2 inch up, and I think we might just go the 2 inch, and then worst case not get this pipe all the way up to the lip of the frame, shove it all the way up against it. We'll just have to leave it down a hair, but this will maximize for sure where the shock can be. So we'll get a piece of 1.5 inch tube like this one cut out of our raw material, and let's get them fitted on there. I would say it's a small update, but it's actually a huge update. Got the welder out, which means I've got things set in place, and I've already tacked it. I know I couldn't get any footage. I just want to get this done, and I know Jason, usually I record him doing the work, to be honest with you. That way I can record and edit, but I'll give you a shot of what we got right now. I got the shock bar tacked in up here, and also tacked the brackets around. So I ended up going with the 2 inch taller ones. And again, these are my shocks in here, and on the lowest setting, that is exactly where the distance from the floor to that bracket and that bracket put it where we were before. So I think the moment of truth is gonna happen right now. I've got everything tightened up as far as the upper shock bolts and the lower ones, the bars tacked. So I think the only thing to do now is to actually let it down and see what happens, I guess. Make sure I don't hit anything in the front or back of this. Let's go ahead and drop it down. Shoo, buddy. She's looking good. I'm sure it's really hard to tell on camera, but this thing is actually going downhill. I don't know if I can get an angle here that... Yeah, you can tell. I mean, obviously there's no motor, no trans, no blower, nothing, radiator support hanging up front. I don't think it's going to compress much in the front though. Plus, like I said, Jason did order the 1.5 to 2 inch drop pieces for those lower arms. We'll see how those work. And I put those shock brackets, if I can see here, on the lowest setting. So they're all the way down to the bottom. So there's a good, probably 4 or 5 inches that this back end could be lifted up. And the other biggest thing is these are some small front skinnies versus 31s, I guess we burn off. So that's going to be another issue. Next, I think Jason's on his way over here. We're either going to cut the bed. I think that's one thing we do want to do, cut for the wheel tubs. And we're going to widen them just like we did on the Death Trap, except he ordered Bronco wheel tubs, so they'll be the exact thing instead of trying to splice it down the center. And then I think we're going to dig the motor down. And he's bringing over a mid plate and a few other pieces for that. We can dig that down and start getting that put in as well. So hope you guys like this so far. This is looking pretty rad. I'm super stoked about this. And again, this is the 12 inch shocks in here, which means now I can put these strange 10 inch shocks in mine. Same thing, 200-pound springs from Summit. So that's going to be awesome. So I think we also, if we do get the bed cut, we're going to put these together and we'll set down the Death Trap with these shocks and springs. That way we can lift off the 31s and we'll be able to put them on this with that bed cut out. So we'll continue from there. I'll get some more shots going forward when Jason's here, and we'll keep trucking along, guys. All right, so we're making quick headway on this. I'm gonna go ahead and zip off a few of the bolts we tightened down here and take that off of there because Jason brought over that mid plate I mentioned, and it's pretty tall above that top bolt hole there, and this original intake on here sticks out past the mid plate. So we're just gonna zip that off. Alright, we'll go ahead and just tape over these runners for now. Like I said, that way we can put that mid plate on, get the transmission, which we brought over, bolted up, and we can start getting this baby sat in there for the first time. Alright, well, it turns out that mid plate's not going to work because the cam retaining plate here, obviously if you look up LS ones, they're pretty much hollowed out inside there, where this was actually big block Chevy for the pulling truck, so it's a solid plate. So we'll get one of those, but at this point we at least want to get this folded up there and sat in there so we can get an idea on our front mounts, and then we'll just use a jack or something for the transmission, and then maybe we can figure out something there and just assume that there's going to be a 1/4 inch gap in between there. Well, in typical fashion, I haven't recorded anything, but cherry picker's out, which means the motor is in. We just didn't put the motor plate, the mid plate on, I should say. We'll get that coming here, but here's a look at that little baby LS motor in there. Boy, these things are a lot smaller than a big block, obviously. So we're going to be able to keep this motor out far enough that we can easily get to all the bell housing bolts. We're not going to be fighting it. I think mine, I got my heads, valve covers are clear up here hitting on the firewall and everything. But it's looking good. We got a plate, the inside of the frame, which we mentioned in one of the previous videos. We got some plates there. We'll get those welded in, and then we're going to get our front motor mount brackets welded on the inside of those. And then, as you see, obviously we got a couple pieces of wood on there. I mean, it's kind of going to mimic the 3/4 inch aluminum adapter plate from Tunnel Ram. I mean, you can't not put the blower on there. We'll see if Jason can somehow screw this up.
Probably. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Well, if we want to go bigger than 671, we know what kind of problems we're going to have. And we've already modified that. We know how to do that, so. Oh yeah, this thing is going to look sweet. Again, the blower is not out from under the hood, which I like, but it'll work. We got to get the big hat on there and everything else up above there that'll keep it up. It'll look just like the Death Trap. I don't think you'll be able to handle this?
Probably not.
At least he's honest. I mean, it'll take some getting used to. All right, well, I think next step is we're going to get, like I said, some plates. Well, these plates welded in, some plates to mount the front, and then we'll have to hold off on the mid plate until we get a new one. And then, I don't know. I guess we'll see you in the next one here. Or see you shortly when we get some plates cut, and then we'll be back with you. All right, so it is the next day out here. Nate's kicking some boards around.
I'm moving it back in.
Okay, he's moving them back. It's the next day in the shop, guys, and I'm working on the single adjustable shocks, the 10-inch ones, to get Goliath, geez, I got so many things on my mind right now, Death Trap back down on its suspension. Then we can lift it up and get those 31s off, so we'll have them ready for the new truck here. And I don't know, maybe you guys got a better way to do this, because mine's dangerous as heck. But when you put these springs on these strange shocks and you pull it all the way out, there's not enough room to get the top cup piece in here, because it has to go all the way underneath of that nut. So I guess my crude way is I'm just going to take a ratchet strap. I already did one of them, and I just went around the vise on the bottom and looped the strap through here a few times. I mean, I don't need to go much to get this on. My 12-inch ones were a lot worse. And you may be thinking, Adam, they sell those spring compressors. They do, but by the time you hook the jaws in here, because I have them, you can't get the bottom in here because the shock body is too close to the actual spring itself. So I guess I'll continue with my crude way. Maybe there's a special tool. I know Strains want you to send them to them, I think, for like $50. They'll do this, but I'll take my chances with the little ratchet strap for now, and we'll get this other one put on. I'll show you what I do here in just a minute. Again, super dangerous, I understand that, but if you see, I just wrapped it around the spring here, wrapped around again, down around the bottom of the vise, and now if we take our top cap carefully without getting your fingers in there, boom, you're able to slip that in there. So now I'll just slowly release the ratchet strap, put pressure against the strap, pull this bottom, and we'll release that and we'll be good to go. We'll get these put on the Death Trap. I'm curious what this thing looks like. I'm hoping with 2-inch shorter shocks. I think the bracket's already on the lowest one because I tried dropping it. Let's see what it looks like. It's Monday night, guys. Just got home from work here. The video's going live tonight, and I just want to give an update before I close out. Didn't get quite as far on the truck as I wanted to. It's actually still in the same spot. We did look over a few things here. Jason overnighted some parts, or 2-dayed them, I'm not sure. We're going to do a new front plate, got a new mid plate coming, and some other stuff so we can get that motor mocked up in there in the next episode, so stay tuned for that one. And then also what I was working on that kind of took away from things that we should be doing was shop improvements. So I'll turn the camera around here and give you a little update of what we got going on. As you can see, there's more stuff missing over there, which means it's over here. So at this point, went ahead and just moved these two shelves here, working on getting stuff taken off. But this is what we've got here. Moved the old Master Force cabinet over here. Working on filling this up with electric tools there, air tools in the next one, so that way we've got some type of drawer system. Went ahead and put us a nice thick plate on the top of that, bent it for a back and a front lip. And this is still the plywood and lumber that we got in. So we'll probably change some of this stuff up, but this is obviously I wrote on there, whether it's scanners, compression testers, all that stuff. And then we're gonna keep the chops all up there. I think I'm gonna get rid of this stand right here, and then I'm gonna put my disc and belt sander there from the good old Harbor Freight. Obviously saw, and that stuff's still the same over there. This stuff will be gone, and then maybe we can get some kind of weld table in here, and probably put a few additional lights up here. Not that these ones aren't bright, but when I'm working on something, I like to be able to see exactly what I'm working on. And here's part of the front motor pieces, so we'll go over these in the next episode, but this will be the driver's one, and I'll explain what the tab is here. So that's going to wrap it for this video, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you in the next one when we're mounting the motor permanently in the LS F100.